Hello and welcome to Mostly Minnesota Music Podcast Edition. I'm Ann Tracy. I'm here with my co-host,
Heather Baker.
And we are here with Eli Gardiner. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about your new album especially, but kind of before we jump into that, tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I moved around a little bit, and before I moved to Minneapolis, I was in Richmond, Virginia for about 4 years. And yeah, this is technically my 5th album. So I've been writing songs for a while, but I'm really proud of this one.
Yeah. What I am excited to talk about it. I mean, it seems like a sort of personal, but a fairly political album.
Well, it's kind of both nowadays. You can't always separate the two, can you?
No, you really can't. You can't. You can't. How did what is the origin of it? When did tell us about the album and from your words?
Yeah, some of the songs I wrote when I was living in Virginia a couple years ago, and some of the songs are newer, but we started the process of recording back in December of 2019, where we had 2 days at Bathtub Shrine recording studio in the Northeast with Greg Schutte and Nick Salisbury and Dan Schwartz.
Yeah, nice.
And we had 2 solid days where we went in and figured out how the songs sound, the structure of them, and then got all the backing tracks down, all the rhythm tracks down.
Wow.
That was the start of it.
Wow. That's fantastic. I assumed it had started, that the album started before yesterday, but it's so in context with what's happening right now.
It's a good and a bad thing, right? That we've been dealing with this stuff for a while.
It's a good and a bad thing. That's a really, yes, it's a good and a bad thing. It's a good and a bad thing. It's,
Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of bigger themes on the album, like the song "Blood Soaked Money" is about shootings and gun control, and really that things could be solved. A lot of things could be solved if there was empathy involved. I think it's things like that, and that was a song I wrote when I was living in Virginia.
What I think is interesting is, I have spent precious little time up in the Upper Peninsula, but that is a mixed political bag. That's not like you've been writing this all from Minneapolis, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, my background is from small town, and I grew up with a lot of stuff where you kind of knew it was wrong, but you didn't really speak up, or you had a lot of different viewpoints, and so I think that's important as well, and that's kind of where I come from as far as my songwriting comes as well.
That's what I think is fascinating, and I live in St. Paul. I've mostly lived, but I do a lot of work in rural Minnesota, and how and because of that background, because you're coming from a smaller town, I think that this is accessible to a wider audience.
Yeah, and I've had mixed reactions too, as far as like interpretations of songs and stuff, which I think is a good thing in some way. You're not polarizing, but I think if people are listening to the lyrics, they're going to figure out what things are about and kind of where I stand on certain stuff.
Yeah.
I think you have to, in this place in the world, that's why I want to put out this album, is I think that right now you have to stand for something. You can't be in the middle.
No, as you said.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say you're creating conversations too. When you had your live stream, did people interact and respond, or what have you heard back, I guess, on that?
Which live stream are you referring to?
Didn't you have something on the 28th or something?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually I don't have a lot of interaction that way.
Okay.
I think people are just enjoying listening to music. I don't think there's a lot of like discourse on the meaning of the songs or anything. That would be cool. I would welcome that, but that hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be amazing actually if that happened.
My mind is ticking away. I do a lot of work with the Women's March. I'm like, that would be really fascinating to kind of to do a live stream, knowing that you were going to pick artists who are really upfront about some politics and just.
That's
some
a great,
subjects.
actually, let's do that. I like that.
Like that would be.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a really, interesting way to connect and have your music out there and be heard in a safer space, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that's really, from my songwriting, how that kind of comes about is that it's from a personal aspect. It's like, this is affecting me. But then when I think that's kind of the kind of art I connect with anyway, is the stuff that it starts out as a personal thing, but some songs can be a bigger picture, and people can bring them into their lives and they can make sense to themselves.
Well, there is something, I mean, I think people can hear the language of music louder than they can hear some of the politics sometimes, which is
Right.
amazing, especially in today. We're dealing with some pretty loud politics.
Well, you see all these artists, big time artists, getting upset on the use of their music right now. So there's a reason for that.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about some of the, well, actually, the Tattered and Torn, the video for Tattered and Torn, I love that. How did you come up with that idea? And for folks who haven't seen it, we can include a link. It's just a lot of footage of current events and current events of days gone by. But
Well, the initial creative spark to write that song was from the latest presidential election, 2016. And to me, it just felt like, as a country as a whole, because of his President Trump's election, there's a lot of things that were on the negative side, and that I wanted to write almost an anthemic song, say, no, this is not what we're about. We're not about hate. We're not about divisiveness, and so that's why I wrote, and I used the American flag because, this is America, and that American flag is a powerful symbol. And sometimes it gets twisted around and used only in a white America way, or, kind of like a dumb, like white pride kind of thing. And so in the video, I wanted to showcase that what's going on right now, the pushing back, the protesting of our political climate has been happening for a long time. And it still needs to happen. People think, the 60s came and went, and, everyone can vote, but that doesn't matter. There's a lot of things as a society that has to grow up, and we're getting there, but we've still got a long way to go. And so in the video, I wanted to portray that, and I produced the video as well.
Oh, wow, you did.
Yeah, it's a lot of public domain video.
I thought,
Free-use video. So I, went online and found that stuff. And then, I wanted to show that progression, that in the march to Selma was some really powerful stuff that I had never seen. And it really invoked in me some emotion just watching that, and then relating it to, like, this is a cause, that has been going on for a long time, and that it's still important. And it's still important to stand up and speak out about this stuff, when people aren't, it's so, I mean, I don't know, I'm happy with how the video turned out. It was an interesting way of editing video for me, because I usually shoot video and then put it together. This is like going out and finding themes, connecting them. And luckily I was able to find enough cool video out there that's free to use.
It sounds like a tremendous amount of work, but like, I want to do that. I mean, I feel like you'd learn so much doing it. I recognize the huge amount of work that might have been. I'm kind of jealous. You've done a really amazing job with it. I mean, I think you've got it's from Selma to, some I recognize and some I don't. You've got some on 38th in Chicago with George Floyd Memorial and the Aztec dancers. You've got them.
That was actually, I was down there, and that was a cell phone video. That was the one thing actually I think I shot. Well, there's one, and then there's also a studio clip right in the start with some of the feedback from the guitar. I'm not sure if it's a real quick thing overlaid with some other video. But those are the two things I shot personally,
Nice.
but then everything else was public domain.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
That, ooh, that's fascinating. You did an amazing job with it. It really does speak. And and just what you had to say about the flag and the idea of people kind of taking over the flag, you said, to represent white America, which it should represent us all. I mean, I think that's
Right.
I applaud the bravery just coming out and saying something like that. I think that's great.
Well, also, I think it's come to a place where, people hide behind saying it's about politics. It's not about politics anymore. It's about people's rights. When your politics are affecting other people's right to live and function in society, then it's not politics.
No, that's well said. I think it's
yeah.
Wow. Sorry, you are well spoken. Sorry. That was
Well, thanks.
yeah.
I'm getting used to doing these.
Yeah, I recognize when some of the rhetoric that has been used by one side is now being used by the other in terms of, really specifically, my body, my choice used to mean one thing. Now it's for the masking. And and that comes a little bit in with, well, where are the rights and where, what rights have we got? It is.
Yeah, but that's a whole mess. That's not about your rights. That's society has to have certain laws and things that people, otherwise just pure chaos. And that's like a lot of things where it's like, what's the word where it's like false equivalency, where it's like, that's not really what that is. There's a lot of false equivalency out there, like especially on Facebook and stuff like that, where people think it makes sense, but then you actually dig into it and be like, no, that's not an apple, that's not an orange. They're not the same thing.
Yeah, this is a really good point, and it does. I find, and I go to a lot of rallies, I go to a lot of protests. We'll have some of these discussions with people, and I find when you get nose to nose with somebody, they know their story so well. And I always find, oh yeah, I just have to stand back and say, oh yeah, I can see it's a cat because it's a cat. So no matter how much you want to call it a dog, and you say it's just a total, yeah, that's
definitely
amazing. So the other song is that I really like, the right and the wrong. Tell us about that song. I like that one too. I like they don't know, they don't care.
Yeah, that's a really personal thing, because so I was playing a lot of solo shows, and sometimes you're playing, you don't even know if people are listening, and people are loud, or where it's like it's a loud area, and you're kind of playing almost for yourself. People are always listening, I found out, but sometimes it can be hard as a solo performer when you don't have a lot of rhythm section. And so I wrote that initially in reaction to that, like I gotta write a song, play when people aren't paying attention. see if they pay attention afterwards. So
that's great.
But it's also but it's also commentary too, in the verses about why do you want to make art, and why do you want to put out in the world, and kind of some people, I guess the bravery in doing it, in the music video, there's my buddy Vlad Messing was a songwriter locally as well, and he plays a clown, and he's out there trying to connect with people, and he's put himself out there, and the only person that notices in the video is a little girl, so but yeah, I'm always interested in the people that are really kind of doing art for the right reasons, not they want to be superstars. It's not they want to have an image out there themselves or, play a rock star. It's about kind of writing songs for connection and making art for connection.
Yeah. And this is a strange time for that. I think it's, live shows are minimal.
Yeah.
And it's just a strange time. Now, have you been playing any live shows?
I've played just a couple, like outside. We did a full band album release show on someone's porch a couple weeks ago,
Nice.
which is a lot of fun. But that's pretty much it, And then I played one right after that, a solo show just in the neighborhood. But besides that, yeah, there hasn't been much to go around.
And how does that affect your day-to-day? How does that affect your psyche? And are you working on any new material?
Yeah, I mean, when the lockdown first happened and everyone was kind of laying low, wasn't sure of what they could do. I didn't really play much guitar even or do much writing. But a few months in, it kind of just welled up, and now I actually have a full notebook full of new songs to record. That's probably gonna be the next album.
Nice. Well, were you still? It seems to me likely that you were still working on the previous album during some of the shutdown. Yeah, I would keep you busy.
Yeah, actually, we mixed and mastered. It gave us time to do that. Because initially the plan, the loose fitting plan was to release it in the summer. But I didn't feel any rush to do that. I don't have any allegiance to anyone but myself as far as like when it has to be put out there. And so it got pushed back, and that gave us time to really mix it how it should be. And so I was going on daily walks and listening to mixes and getting sick of listening to myself and stuff like that.
I always wonder about that.
Yeah.
And doing the videos is a huge part of it. So I've seen the Right and the Wrong, and I've seen the Tattered and Torn. Are there others that I haven't found yet? Do you have plans to do more videos for the album?
I do actually. Yeah. I'm actually working on an idea right now for a video for the song Eaten Alive, which is it's about addiction. I wrote it for my brother actually, who's gone through addiction and now he's in recovery, and he's actually a recovery coach, and that's his job. And so he works with a lot of people that are dealing with addiction. And he wrote an article a while back when he was newly sober for our neighborhood newspaper, and he talks about it the feeling of addiction just being eaten alive inside. And so I wrote a song based off that article. And the music video I'm going to put together is going to feature pictures of people that are in recovery now. Some he knows and some he works with, and
nice.
So it's going to be good. It's going to kind of put a positive spin on a really horrible thing, but like give people an understanding that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and they can get through this. I think that's really important right now, especially. A lot of people are isolated, and there's not a lot of things they can do to get out of their head and get out of their house. So
I love the idea imagine being asked to be in a video like that. That is a real point of pride, and something to show off. I love the generosity of it from that perspective. It's funny because it makes me think of some of the old Soul Asylum videos, that they would do with the milk carton or there's a different purpose. Yeah. That's a fantastic to give somebody like that. That's a gift. And then once you've been in the video, it seems like then you've got to be committed. It's that.
Yeah. So I'm hopefully going to get that out in probably in a couple weeks.
I will be looking forward to that one. That was one I'd be happy to share, because I just think that's
Definitely.
A fantastic message.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that reminded me of one of your lyrics, and I might not have it completely correct, so sorry. I think it's from the Fire and Medicine when you lose your life, can you be free?
Yeah, Boat at Sea. when you lose your lies,
Oh.
can you be free?
Oh,
Yeah, when you close your eyes, what do you see? Then when you lose your lies, can you be free? But yeah, that's The Boat at Sea is a real metaphor song, you know. I wanted to leave that open-ended for people.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites, how, as far as how it turned out. You know, you pick songs kind of figuring out how they're going to sound with a full band. And that was one of the songs that was on the bubble as far as if I wanted to include it on the album or not. And it turned into one of my favorite ones as far as how it turned out in studio, because it has a long outro and really just lays it down and goes for it. And it was a lot of fun to put together.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love the lyrics, even though I had a major word wrong. It still was great that way too. So.
Well, that's the fun part, I think, of listening to new music, is figuring out what people are saying. And then, I mean, there's famous instances of, you know, the Steve Miller Band, you know, the Joker song, you know,
Yeah.
with the weird interpretations of the lyrics.
Yeah, maybe it was my brain twisting it to how I needed to hear it rather than what you were saying.
That works too.
Comes back to the interpretation, leaving it to the
Yes.
interpretation. So how is it different writing for a full band? Because you've done a lot of solo work. And then you did have what made you decide to do a full band this time around, and how is that different?
Well, I've done the bedroom recording albums and stuff like that, but I had an opportunity because of the people I met when I first moved here, and I knew I had a batch of songs I wanted to put forward in the best light, and I knew I wanted to get other people involved to do things that I couldn't do, and namely, you know, play drums and have a full band and have that treatment of the music. Because I think some songs really lend itself to be fleshed out like that.
Yeah.
And they're just more fun to play too. I mean, as a musician, it's just more fun to get people involved and just see what happens. And so I was really happy with how it turned out, you know, meeting these guys, meeting Greg Schutte and Nick Salisbury and Dan Schwartz, and just being like, having them on board, because I really respected what they do musically and what they keep doing. And not really having to worry about that. I mean, like, they knew what I was trying to do. And so it was just figuring out how they should go and doing it.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, it was just, I think for me, recording is about just doing what's best for the music. And yeah, I don't know. I've played with bands before and had bands in the past. I'm a solo artist because I'm just kind of, don't have a lot of, I guess, patience for, like, I want to play music, and so I can't wait around for other people to get their act together.
Come on, yeah.
Yeah. So
I
I'm gonna do it
appreciate that.
regardless. I'm gonna do it regardless, but it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be fun. Don't get other people involved. So yeah, just mainly just see what I could do with the people I meet, and kind of push the envelope as far as the quality and the songwriting, and then just the content and the sonic quality of it.
Do you feel an extra sense of pressure? And I can think about it from two ways. It's like, I want this song to do the best. And then feel pressure giving it away to the band, or I want the band to really love the songs. Is there not added pressure either way?
I think I put the pressure on myself a little bit. The big thing was picking out what songs I wanted. Like, I don't have a budget to go in and record 25 songs and then pick the 10 best. So what we recorded is what's on the album. But I did do a thing where I did, I think it's on my Bandcamp page actually. I recorded about 20 songs just on phone recordings, and kind of just listen to them and send them to a few people, get some feedback as far as like, and then I would listen to things and kind of see how they went together. to see, because some songs are just, they're way too personal, or they just didn't fit in the selection. So that's kind of how I came up with, these 12 songs.
Okay, it sounds like a lot of work. I mean, listening to them all, and then as you said, listening to them as they're getting mixed and mastered, and yeah, it must be.
Yeah, for me, that was a good process, because everything I've done before this has been a really, I mean, quick in a sense where I would listen to something and make decisions about it. But this was more of letting it sink in, taking the time to make the right decision and not being rushed with it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going with that, but yeah, it was fun.
Was that, I mean, was that a cognitive decision where you said you had kind of, you had a plan, and the whole idea of plan is so 2019 now, but
Yes.
where the date shifted for the album. So it's kind of I'm always looking for the COVID silver linings, is it really because of COVID, because of everything that's going around, that you were able to take some of the extra time?
Yeah, I think so. I think the mixing process probably would have been similar, but I mean, I think I had more time to just listen to music in general. And at that time, with everything going on, music was just hitting me harder anyway. Like I was taking time to listen to full albums, that I wasn't mixing, and hearing new music come out, like the new Jason Isbell stuff and the Fiona Apple stuff was coming out all the time. And I would go and just listen to full albums and go on walks, and just being able to hear new music just hit you. And that was good for me to hear that, and then relate it to what I was doing and hearing my mixes. So yeah, maybe I wouldn't have had that opportunity in being the mindset I was, when I was mixing it. Yeah, definitely.
Do you think moving forward that you would make an effort to do it a little bit more this way?
The mixing process?
Well, yeah, to taking the time.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. No, I learned a lot. I think you learn anytime you're creating something, you're learning something. But I definitely learned a lot from the overall process.
Yeah.
And like what it takes to put out an album like this. Yeah, definitely.
That's nice. Sounds like you're like me, where I don't always have the patience. I don't always have the patience. So.
Yeah, I think, but as I've written songs, I've kind of just learned kind of the cycle they go in, because I don't really labor over edits necessarily on songs, but they do change when I play them, whether it's just playing them myself or my cats, or playing shows, they'll kind of dictate what needs to happen structure wise, and how lyrics fit and stuff like that.
So what is the cycle? Do the music first? Is the lyrics first? Is there what is your cycle?
The songs I've written recently, there's not really like a hard rule on that. It just depends on the song, or I'll have a chord structure I like, or a melody, and then the chords might lend itself to a melody as far as the vocals go and stuff. So it just really depends. But the songs I personally like the best are the ones that kind of come quick, where it's like, yeah, I'm not really overthinking it. I'm really just kind of capturing the emotion of the time, and making it work from that. But I think I am more aware of that process, and being patient with that. And if I'm not writing songs for a few weeks or, a month or whatever, not to really worry about it. I think you can get hard on yourself and be like, oh, I want to write a song about this topic, but for me, it doesn't work like that. I can't just sit down and do that, like the Nashville style of songwriting, where it's just like workhorse and sit in a room with an empty pad of paper and write songs. I'm not formulaic, I guess like that.
That sounds like being grounded.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it's so it's nice to do it together. Now, that being said, we've had a number of talked to a number of people who are part of this kind of songwriter groups where they pick a different topic every week, and that sounds, but
I have mixed feelings on that.
well, that's what I was wondering, because it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think if you are grounded in your voice and you know your songwriting style and you know what works for you, I think it's good to expand it and be influenced and inspired by other people. But if you're just first starting out, you're getting all these different people telling you things and their opinions and their ideas of songwriting, that's too many options. And too many options is gonna kill creativity. But I don't know.
No, that's interesting. That's very interesting, because you'd think when you were first starting out, you'd want to be more of a sponge, but it's that spongeability that makes it kind of a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends what kind of songwriter you want to be, I think, as well. Like the type of thing I like to do, and I think the type of songwriter I am, is someone that has a unique voice and a unique point of view. Some people, I think, they're more, topical or classical songwriters where they're going to pick a topic and it's going to be, kind of pop level and surface level, and I think that's great too. Just depends what kind of songwriter you want to be.
I'm gonna ask a question out of left field now.
Yeah.
I believe I read both of your parents are musicians.
Yep, my dad isn't with us anymore. He passed away, but he was a classical guitarist. And my mom, when I was growing up, played piano and flute.
Nice.
And sang. Yep.
Now, obviously, they had an influence on you. Can you think of ways that they may have influenced some of your songwriting? Did you ever learn any of these habits through them?
I'm not sure, because I think maybe just in the creative aspect. But my dad he didn't start like writing original songs, until I started actually writing original songs. Like right when I first started out, I was writing lyrics and stuff, and so that kind of inspired him. But before that, he was he wanted to be a classical guitarist. Like he was playing Bach on the guitar. And
wow.
Have you heard of Andrea Segovia, the guitarist?
Mm-mm.
He's really crazy fingerstyle stuff, but he learned from one of his students at the Milwaukee School of Music, I believe.
Okay.
And so he was hardcore into the proper form, reading music, all that, how to position your hand. And actually, when I was 12 years old, I expressed interest in wanting to learn guitar. And so he's like, okay, here's how to read music, and here's how you hold your hand. I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I didn't.
I meant piano.
Yeah. So I think I approached it really from a hard-headed way, as like, I want to write songs, but I'm kind of gonna figure it out myself. I don't know. I don't know if it's the best way, but that's how I did it.
Well, you started writing young. I think obviously it is. You've done well by it. It's done well by you. But I think that's too, that when you're that age, that's how you are. That's how we all are. Or
Right.
most, many of us were,
Right, but then he kind of figured it out. And so when I got older, and I think I was like 17 or 18, I was like, how about that guitar thing again? And so he bought me a guitar and just showed me some chords and left me alone. And kind of went from there.
But it's kind of like knowing if today's not the day to write a song.
Mhm.
Your dad was smart. You were smart to say, 12's not the year to learn guitar this way. Pick it up in a few years.
Right, definitely.
All in its own time.
Yes.
All in its own time. But
Yes.
What did you all play music together? Musical household?
Not really. I mean, I remember growing up, they would torment me and my brothers by like dancing around to Bonnie Raitt songs and stuff. I mean, just be like, oh my God.
You guys are the worst. I could just.
But I mean, I grew up listening to some good music though, like Carly Simon, Bruce Springsteen, Jim Croce, James Taylor. That's like, one of their favorites. So I think in that way, I was exposed, to some good music, and that definitely played a part in my upbringing.
Take Bruce Springsteen off that list, and it sounds just like my parents' album
really?
collection right there. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Jim Croce, I remember listening to him
Oh,
when I was little. Yeah.
hours. Listen to Tapestry. Listen to all the different things. That's fantastic.
Nice.
That's good. I'm trying to. Are you playing anytime in the future? It's such a terrible question to ask people at COVID. I have to ask it.
I know. I wish. I mean, yeah. There might be something going on with Nick Hensley in the songwriter showcase he does. I think it's going to be like a show, but also taped and produced for video.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure I think that's happening the end of October. But besides that, I don't really have anything going on. I am going to be releasing probably a couple more music videos for the album in the next few months.
So you've got one for Eaten Alive that's in your head. Going to be. Do you know what you're going to do for some of the others?
Not yet. The song Villain is the one acoustic song on the album. And that was actually the one song that was recorded in one take. It was near the first day I just kind of sat down and played it through, and we're like, man, that was good. So I might put a video out for that. I don't know if I'm going to do anything too crazy, but I think I'm just going to put it out as kind of like a live thing. I recorded a video of the take. I was in the studio, so I might just put that out as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure. I'll have to look on the album. I would love to do a video for Boat at Sea, but I'm not sure if my idea is too grandiose right now. I want to go up to Duluth and shoot some, maybe do some drone shots of the shore and line and stuff. Or we'll see. It's going to get cold, so I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Well, that's the question: is whether you'd want it in the cold. Do you want it when it's icy and it's so foreboding?
Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah.
What got you into all the videos and stuff too? Like just another extension of art for you?
Yeah, and it's what I do for my full-time job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I work for a local news station, so I do video most days. But yeah, and that's something I'm going to work towards as far as like doing more work for hopefully local musicians and stuff, production work. So that's kind of my next step as far as what create for creative works, I guess, in the works, is doing more doing more affordable stuff for people locally, because I think it's really good to have content and just another creative outlet. But it really helps to get music out there if you have a video associated with it. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but if you have an idea, people are going to watch a video and really connect that way too.
Especially now that concerts are all but gone.
Yeah.
Oh. Some of us who maybe used to be out a lot at night seeing live music, we're home now. It is, but it is, and it's fun to see a video. I think even when the world opens up, I hope people continue to do videos, because it seems like people are doing them more often now.
Yeah, for sure. What were your favorite spots to go and see live music?
Turf Club.
Yeah.
There are a lot of places.
I think that was my last show, actually, before things got shut down, was at the Turf Club.
Nice. I'm trying to, very likely could have been I'm trying to think of who was there. Yeah. The Astor, the Ice House does a nice job now. They have some outdoor shows, and it feels.
Have you been to any of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's seated, and it feels very safe. We'll see what they're gonna, I imagine they'll get some heat lamps in for the winter.
Yeah. Nice.
We're spoiled for choice here. And I think it's, never ever again will I whine about there are too many shows tonight.
I know.
Never again. Where would you like to be playing? What do you miss playing? What venues?
You know, I'm kind of still new as far as like getting out there and playing a lot of shows. One of my favorite shows I played before everything got shut down was the Warming House. That was a lot of fun. Intimidating, but it was a lot of fun, you know. But I would love to get out there and do some shows at the Astor Cafe and the Turf Club with the full band. That would be a lot.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Well, the Warming House to me would be intimidated in the way, as you said, it's that you know they don't know, they don't care. You don't get that at the Warming House. It's all eyes on. It's
Yeah.
the closest thing to being on a Zoom call, I would think. I mean, you are the focal point in that
Right.
space.
Right. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But it was, I've played some shows like that before, but not to that extent. So, and I had everyone with me. I had Nick Salisbury and Dan Schwartz. No drums, obviously, but so yeah, that was I think that was right after, maybe the month after that we recorded the album that we got to play that. Yeah.
So last winter.
Yep.
Christmassy. Nice.
Yep. It was probably like January, I think. I know it was cold. Yeah.
That could be a lot of months.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That could be at any time.
So not June, you're saying?
No, it was like December through April. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. After a while, it didn't matter. So that's funny. Oh, that's
I was
good.
gonna say at the Warming House, I always think of that 70s show when I think Red is gonna come flying down the stairs or something like that.
That's
Going,
awesome.
"Come on, kids,
I
keep
know.
it down."
Well, I mean, it reminds me of basement shows in college and stuff, where you get a keg and you cram people into your dark basement, and there's like a band playing in the corner.
Oh, the good old days, the good
I
old
know.
days.
That's funny. Good. It's good.
It is cozy though, yes.
We'll be back there again.
Yes.
Well, maybe I won't be at the college basement party, but we will find.
Hopefully not.
I'll be at the college professor party. Hey, maybe that's more my speed now. That would be good. Well,
Definitely.
Eli, tell folks where they can find you online.
Yeah. I mean, for independent artists, I think to download music right now, the best thing is Bandcamp. You can go to my Bandcamp page. I have a website at eligardiner.com, Gardiner. That has all the links to my stuff, and you can watch some videos there and connect. Facebook's good, as far as like keeping up to date with what I'm doing.
Nice.
And I'm probably going to be doing more live streams there too. I'm probably going to be doing one, once I take a couple weeks here, I'm going to probably get back into doing it weekly. So
Nice.
probably like a Tuesday live stream on the regular, just to keep my chops up and keep my interest up, play some new songs. So
That's good, especially since it's getting dark at 6:20 now. We need something to brighten these nights, man.
You're like, yeah, as soon as it gets dark, just start live streaming. It's like
That'd
at
be
7
good.
o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those shows. So, well, thank you so much for joining us. It's really interesting to get to know you, and the album is great. And as I said, I just love I love a political album that kind of can cross a lot of fields. Can get new people to start listening and get people talking. And yeah, we'll have to figure out how we're going to have some sort of online dialogue show where you can play and talk about the music at the same time. That'd be great.
I think we should get some other songwriters
Oh
involved
yeah.
and pick a song and be like, what is a theme on the song, and then what inspired it? It could be, you could call it like social justice songs or something like that, where it's something that's relative to the time. And yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
All right. Challenge accepted.
All right.
We're gonna see how we're gonna think about it for a minute, because people do not. don't worry about the logistics. Got it. But yeah. Okay, on that great idea. Thank you. Thank you
Thanks a
so
lot.
much. Thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.